It's March 8th, and I'm at 8,100 feet above sea level, and I'm about to descend 65 steps and some not too steep downslopes, and I'll end up at about 7,800 feet. Okay, and oh, I can't see where I'm going to end up from here, but it's going to cover a horizontal distance of about 285 yards. Some of the steps are pretty well maintained and even. Some of them are less even, and you've got to be a little bit careful because there's no law requiring you to pick up after your pup. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is what I was talking about, uneven edges at least on the steps. This is the first intersection, and well, we've got a kind of pretty little hostel here. Okay. Some residences. A beauty parlor, unisex barbershop. And some more residences. And this is the first part of the steps, looking up from the level that the hostel is on. These are the last sections of steps, and we've got a little bit of a downslope here, but at any rate, there's a handrail so people can support themselves. That car in the distance is the other side of the street where the steps end. This is Calle Aguas Calientes. The shop on the corner is a locksmith, and I needed to call him one night because I locked myself out of the house. Down at the end of the street is a market building that used to be part of the actual public market, but it's been upgraded and renovated to be kind of a boutique market for mostly touristy things. In this view, you can see pretty much all the steps going up. And, well, in a couple of minutes I'll be at the lowest point, and I'll be able to tell you exactly how much I descended. This is another view of the Gonzales Ortega market. That's kind of the boutique market, and looks like we got a young couple looking for a couple of moments of quiet or privacy. This is the hotel my landlady owns, and it's a 4-star hotel, which is about the best you're going to find in Mexico, below the super luxury hotels. The building goes back to the 1600s, and well, one of these days I may be able to take some video inside. It's really authentic Mexican decorated. You would think that it was a duke's palace or the viceroy's palace. Cantera Musical is an excellent restaurant serving typical dishes of the region. Cantera is the word for quarry, as in stone quarry, and Cantera Musical would mean musical. One of the shops inside the Gonzales Ortega market, and this is silver of all sorts, statues, and you know, lots of things that tourists might like to buy. Yeah, you might call it a tourist trap, but you know, that's what a lot of tourists go to. If you got a sweet tooth, you can take care of it very nicely here. This booth is a state service where people can get copies of marriage licenses and birth certificates if they need them in a hurry. Very small fee, and there's a young man who takes care of it for you, so you don't even have to read instructions. I forgot to mention that at this point my telephone is telling me I'm at 8,050 feet. Just some more scenery around downtown. Okay. And I'm going to continue my walk by going off to the right. This is one place where if you're skylarking and not watching where you're going, you could easily drop off the edge of one of these steps. Going in the opposite directions, the steps are easier to see. Keys made while you wait, right at the side of the street. It looks like the guy may very well live in the old Volkswagen minibus. One of the prettier sites or prettier locations in Zacatecas, the fountain happens to be running with water today, which is kind of unusual. It's even prettier at night. This is the start of the public market area, and you might be able to see that the sidewalk has gotten quite narrow. Of course, all these stores are private, and I'm sure the occupants pay rent. This is one of the main bus stops in Zacatecas, and a senior citizen like me can ride for 3 pesos or 24 cents. They call this area Arroyo de la Plata, or literally stream of silver, as in stream of water, but silver in any case. Okay, the street right ahead of you is lined with a lot of little shops selling everything from knives and cookware to shoes to jewelry to briefcases and luggage. Further down the street there's another big building that's also public market, and I really don't know what the basis for renting stalls is, but I'm sure it's not a terribly large amount of money. This is one of the entrances to the public market, and as you can see it's undergoing some hefty renovations. Okay. And the vaulting in the ceiling is pretty typical of construction around here on large public buildings. The public market itself extends from those entrances on 2 floors all the way down to these entrances. Just some more stores in the market area. This starts another uphill stretch. It's not very steep, but it goes on for the equivalent of about 3 blocks. This is one of the prettier churches in Zacatecas. It's far from the biggest, but the decoration and the architecture goes back to the 1500s. I asked the gentleman inside, and the church is the Church of the Sacred Heart. And you can see how, maybe you can see how the slope goes gently upward, and I'm going to walk along and eventually get to the Alameda. Alameda is usually the first or largest park in a city, according to Spanish tradition. The main plaza is usually called the Plaza de Armas, and that's usually the plaza in front of the City Hall or the Cathedral, or both, because the City Hall is usually close to the Cathedral. Maybe you can get an idea from here just how uneven the paving can be, and you know, if you're not careful, it's easy to... It's not at all hard to imagine walking down this street at any time between about 1520 and 1888 or 1890. Another surprise that Zacatecas has in store for a lot of people is all of a sudden the wide sidewalk turns very narrow. And I guess that's because back in the 1500s there were no fixed property lines. People built their houses the way they wanted to, and when they decided to bring roads through or pave the roads, they made the road pretty much a constant standard width, and whatever was left over they had for sidewalks. Originally paved in the 1500s, and it looks like maybe it hasn't been repaved since. As luck would have it, I came upon people getting ready to parade in support of one or another of the candidates for the elections that are going to be held in July. This is a garden dedicated to mothers, all mothers. It's right across from the Alameda, but a lot smaller. Well, when there are no political activities going on, it's another quiet place to kick back and relax. Okay, more political activity. Thanks to the political activity, I guess my quiet walk in the Alameda is not going to be so quiet after all. And I'm not sure what these guys are doing here, but looks like they're giving the girls rides on horseback. Well, I had it wrong again. Most of the noise and activity is college students campaigning for their spring queen. Yeah, and the horse has nothing to do with either. They're just some people out for fun. And hey, I think that's a great way to have. I forgot to mention this, by the way, is the Alameda. In just about every park you go into in Mexico, you're going to find people selling all sorts of goodies. Candies, chewing gum, potato chips, crunchy stuff of all kinds, cotton candy, you name it. And this is snow cones, Mexican style. I don't really know what kind of tree or bush this is, but the color to me is outstanding. At the very least, the Alameda has quite a bit of shade, and one circuit around the Alameda, and then retracing my route back to where that fountain was, gives me a half-hour walk, which is what I'm supposed to do 5 days.